and then we'll let you come on up pretty close. Tim Hensley here with the Urban Homestead. Our website is www.oldvaapples.com. Wanted to give a short talk on pruning apple trees. We're here in our orchard with a Red Royal limber twig. This is a great old southern apple, really a rich flavored variety. And the question comes up, how do you prune your trees? Folks think of it as an art, kind of an esoteric art, but you can reduce pruning down to just a few principles, a pathway of D's, if you will. First thing you do with your tree is remove any dead or diseased growth. We've just recently worked over this tree and got rid of a fire blight, some fire blight strikes here and there. It's not especially prone, but we have had a little bit to take out. And if you have broken branches, you'd clean those out, clear those out. So you prune any dead or diseased growth, and then you prune to direct the growth of the tree. Apple trees tend to have a very, they'll tend to put up lots of growth in the center of the tree, and you have to come in here and hit the tree pretty hard, get rid of suckers that are trying to come up through the middle of the tree. That sort of growth doesn't really help. It doesn't really help the tree produce good apples. It just fills it up with leafy growth, and you have too many apples, and you'll have smaller apples, and then it just makes it hard for light to come into the tree as well. So we direct the growth by spacing these scaffold branches. Here's our first scaffold branch. The next one comes off at maybe a foot later, a foot higher here. You can see we've removed some other branches that have tried to come in here, so that we have these scaffolds spaced 6 to 18 inches is what we say. Here's another one coming off, and then we have a branch here that was trying to compete for dominance with this central leader, and you can see we hit him pretty hard. He made an ugly stub initially, but that's allowed him to come in here and give some lateral growth, and it's actually serving a purpose now. And then on up the tree you can see alternating laterals with a pretty good distance between them. When you space your laterals 6 to 18 inches like this, you'll have adequate spacing then for some upright growth, and you'll have fruiting spurs that get to set in here, and it allows light penetration into the tree, and this helps the fruit quality. The last D is to prune to develop the fruit, and pretty much this comes down to taking out about a third of last year's growth, in addition to thinning out, to directing the growth, thinning out the growth. But you take about a third of last year's growth out. This reduces the number of fruiting spurs, and you have, as a result, larger apples, fewer apples and larger apples, and better quality fruit. So the pathway of D's: prune dead or diseased growth out, you prune to direct the growth, you prune to develop the fruit. And if all of that sounds like too much to keep in mind, you can reduce apple pruning down to one rule. That's prune the tree so a bird can fly through it. Thank you. It's Tim Hensley, Urban Homestead, www.oldvaapples.com.